It's the UB Basketball Insider Show. Coming up, we'll introduce you to the new names and faces on the Bulls men's and women's basketball teams. We'll sit down with star guard Sierra Dillard, and we'll relive last year's amazing women's basketball season. It's the UB Basketball Insider Show, and it's time to tip it off.
Some of you have been waiting a lifetime for this thing. Some of you get one chance in a lifetime to do this thing. It's right here. We got 40 minutes of energy. Let's come in here.
We did something good 2 days ago. The magic hasn't happened yet. We will make mistakes. We'll get back on defense. There got to be a Cinderella team somewhere. Why not us? Why not now?
9 seconds to go. 76-66 Buffalo. Horns up, Buffalo. UB is headed to the NCAA tournament for the third time in 4 years.
It's about us. It's just our sisterhood, our foxhole, and we don't compare ourselves to anybody else. We're ready to go. We're ready to play anybody tomorrow.
And the Bulls will move on. The first NCAA tournament win in the history of the Buffalo Bulls.
Well, Nate, with 8 key players returning, people are excited about what your team can do this year, but I don't know if they've ever been as excited about the new players that are coming in, nor have Bulls fans heard as much about the new players that are coming in, particularly Rondo Segou and Janathan Williams. Let's start by talking about Janathan, one of the biggest recruits this program has ever had. Is he as good as everybody has sort of led us to think that he's going to be?
Yeah, you know what, a lot of those rankings come on what people predict him out to be, and he's definitely good on that. Now, he's still a freshman. That's what we got to temper everybody's expectations. Like, he's walking into a team with 5 really good seniors and 8 returners. So he's going to be great. He's got athleticism, great size. A sponge, is really learning. But, again, he's moving from high school to college. We're still in college basketball, and he's got a big learning curve in front of him, and he's learning a lot, but he's – down the road, he's going to be great, and I think we're going to see signs of greatness in each particular game, and he's going to make some plays where everybody goes, we definitely know why he's a top 100 recruit, but there's going to be some games when he looks like a freshman too. So I like him a lot, and I think the upside's really, really big for Janathan.
Tell us about his game. Tell us how he plays.
Hard, athletic, aggressive, attacking. He's got to get a little bit better. He's not Jeremy. He's a little more physical, but he doesn't shoot it as well as Jeremy. He's not, as quick with the decision-making as Jeremy. He's not, Jeremy's like a 6'7" 2 guard. Janathan's like a 6'7" wing that's strong enough to go really be strong and rebounded. I mean, when you talk about tip dunks, like him and Javon are going to be the two getting all those tip dunks. He can go get the ball. Like, he's really athletic, and he's really long, and he wants to, and he finishes well around the rim. He wants to be around the rim, and defensive-wise, he's got the tools to be an unbelievable defender, and we just got to keep coaching him up into our system.
So you're pretty much telling us we're going to lock in 2 of our top 5 plays of the week are going to be tip dunks from your guys, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Montel's in there too now. Montel had that big one against Central Michigan in the MAC tournament. So Javon, Montel, Nate, Janathan, I mean, those 3 are going to get you a few here this year.
And then maybe a couple of really slick passes from your new freshman point guard, and that would be Rondo Segou.
Yeah, Rondo shooting. When we're out, it's crazy. We beat Arizona and we got all these returners, and you go out on the road and everybody's like, is that where Segou goes? Segou? Like that, he's like a social media celebrity already. Like, he's got over 100,000 followers on Instagram. And you can tell he's a great kid. He's likable. He's, been on video, but he's got that hesitation, and people can relate to him. I mean, he's their size. He's a little skinny. He's not big and strong, but he's super quick, and he can really pass the ball. And he wants to be great. Like, him and Janathan are 2 of the biggest gym rats we've ever had come through here. They're always to the point where it's maybe too much sometimes, but you'd much rather have that than tell them to take a day off than have to push them to get in the gym.
Right. And then lost in a little bit of the conversation about those 2 guys is another newcomer that I know you think very highly of, and that's Trayvon Fagan, who's a junior college transfer.
Yeah, he's going to be another one with some tip dunks. Now, he's athletic. He reminds me a little bit of Kadiri, but he's a little more skilled where he can knock down threes and take you off the dribble. He's like a 4-5 right now that we're going to try to turn into a 3-4, and it's going to come in. He's got 3 years. He's a junior college transfer, but he only played 1 year. So we've got him for 3 years, so he's really only a sophomore, and he's strong. and really athletic and plays really hard. And he's like the ultimate like glue guy, and he's perfect fit for our system, as athletic as he is. And he runs ball screens, sprint to the a little bit Clint Capella from the Rockets, like Kadiri. Get up, but then he can also make some threes and stuff.
Well, all those newcomers are going to get a taste of college basketball, big-time college basketball, very early. It's a very challenging schedule for you. At West Virginia, then the trip to Belfast, Northern Ireland for that tournament. Then you're at Bona, you're at Syracuse, you're at Marquette. Why schedule so tough?
I mean, I think it makes sense. Like, I mean, we could go 13-0 if we wanted to schedule that way, non-conference, and have no idea where your faults are at. Let's figure out what we need to get better at. And the only way you do that is go and play in the best. I think when we stepped in to play Arizona, we weren't scared to play high major competition. We'd played at Syracuse, at Texas A&M. You know, we'd played some big-time teams. Same thing this year. Every year our non-conference schedule is pretty much in the top 10 strength of schedule in the country, and it's going to be the same way this year.
Going to be a fun year, and it gets started in a lot of fun ways for Nate Oates' team.
Coming up, we sit down with women's head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack to talk about the newcomers on her squad this season. UB Basketball Insider will be back right after this.
Welcome back to UB Basketball Insider. This segment is presented by CEFQ, changing lives every day.
Well, there are going to be a lot of new names and faces for Bulls fans to get used to this year. You have 7 new players on your team, but I know you're really, really excited about all of them. We're going to talk about all of them, but let's start with maybe one of the most interesting, and that is based on the news that happened not all that long ago, was Finesse Dixon being allowed by the NCAA to play for you, and I know she's going to play a key role for you. Tell everybody about Finesse and the story about getting her here.
It's really a neat story. She had a situation at Memphis, and they didn't think she can play, and she fought hard to get her ability to play back, and she came here to watch her sister, and she fell in love with the coaches and what we were building here at Buffalo, and she decided that she wanted to come and play for us. She's a scholarship athlete from Memphis. Could have went to a few other schools on a scholarship. She chose to forego a scholarship and play for us.
That's awesome. And as you mentioned, her sister, Ariel Dixon, is here as well, too. So that clearly was a factor. But what can we expect to see out of the other Dixon young lady?
Ariel is a defensive specialist, and she pushes that ball with such fierceness, but finesse. And it's so funny that her sister name is Finesse, but I think Ariel's more finesse than her sister. So it's going to be neat to see.
I might steal that line. Yeah. That's very good.
It's going to be neat to see both of them out there at some point of the game.
A young lady by the name of Addie is another player that you're going to count on this year.
Addie has paid the price. She had left her family to go to a prep school out in Florida, The Rock, and to work on her craft, to grow as a student athlete. And it was just a blessing to get somebody with that kind of passion and that kind. You will hear Addie in the layup line. She's a talker. She's a passionate player, kind of kid that I kind of love.
Kind of reminds you of somebody, doesn't it?
A little bit.
All right, and then there are a whole host of other new players, and as we clearly know, if they're on the roster, they'll be on the court.
Absolutely. Alexis is a special defensive player. She's out of New Jersey. I like what she's going to bring eventually, get that jump shot a little bit better. Defensively in the box out is what she does. Zena Elias is a kid out of Florida, Lebanese background. Great three-point shooter, great face-up kid, IQ for the game, but slow feet. You know, and you got this kid named Ocean out of Montreal, whose family's she was raised in France, so she speaks a couple languages. But yet, one thing I like, the language she speaks is that corner jump shot. She's a three-point specialist, 6'4" wingspan, and she runs the floor like a deer, and is passionate as her coach. So we got a few people that's in line that's really great, but you know, all of us collectively have to know that any given day, anybody can play, including a kid named Keough Walters, based out of come out of Brampton, Ontario, who really is a back to the basket post player. She's not Cassie Alzer yet. We're gonna get her there.
Has your ability to attract players changed with the success that this program has had and your notoriety and the program's notoriety? You feel like you're bringing in players at a higher level than maybe you were 3 or 4 years ago?
You know, one thing I know well is talent. We weren't able to get it. Now we're getting the talent that can play for me. Not necessarily the best talent in the country, and that's okay with us. in order for you to be a great coach, you have to have players that know how to play for you. My coaches did a tremendous job of going out there and getting 7 unbelievable players that can play for me, that can play for Buffalo. And our hope is not to just go to the Sweet 16. Our goal this year is 16 divided by 4. We want more.
With so many new players and so many returning players, but being asked to play in different roles, are you using this time of year for the transition? And how difficult is that to get all those pieces going?
I haven't slept a wink. I tell you, this is a fun problem to have. And my husband will tell you, he's sleeping and he'll look up at 2:30 in the morning, and I'm writing notes down on what I can try and what I can use for this particular situation. And I love that every single one of our players are wanting and committed to get better, to help us grow this thing to another level.
So there you go. A more focused, a more determined, and a harder working Felicia Legette-Jack. Didn't think that was possible, but we're excited to see the results now that we know it's going to happen.
Coming up, Sierra Diller shares her experience with last season's Sweet 16 run. That's next on UB Basketball Insider.
Welcome back to UB Basketball Insider. This segment is presented by Town BMW, the official auto partner of UB Athletics.
Sierra, have you had much chance to reflect on last year, not only for you personally, but what this amazing run to the Sweet 16 was like for your team?
Yes, it actually hit us right about after Sweet 16, right about around April. We kind of came home and feel like everywhere we went through, everybody's just like, oh, we saw you guys on TV. You're amazing. We're so proud of you. I mean, just going in the bank, Walmart, Target, anywhere we went. And that kind of hit us like, whoa, like what we just did was amazing.
You like being a celebrity?
I don't know about celebrity, but, you know, we love the attention. We love to put it on for Buffalo. It's an amazing accomplishment. And to bring just greatness back to Buffalo, which it deserves, is astonishing.
I think what we've learned about you is you are never lacking for any confidence. That's what makes you such a great player. But when you play the way that you did in that tournament last year, and you average 29 points a game, and you become a player that people around college basketball know of and talk of, how much does that help your confidence going into this year?
It helps our confidence tremendously. I think more so the team, because I think, you know, I'm a team player, and I think anything that can help the team's confidence would pick up. And I think the success that we had together is more so amazing to see more than, you know, individually. So I loved that, you know, everybody was just having fun. Everybody was just amazed on what we done. Like, you talk about it during the season, like, this is where you want to get to. You want to get to the Sweet 16, you want to get to the NCAA tournament. But when you're actually in that moment and you celebrate it with your teammates and your coaches and the staff, it's unbelievable. And of course that helps us going into this year.
You mentioned you're willing to do whatever it needs to be done to help the team win, and we saw that in the roles that you filled at various times last year. So coming into this year, knowing there are some holes to fill and Stephanie isn't there to bring the ball up for you like she did last year, where do you see your role this year? Do you see it changing much?
I don't see it changing much. I think it kind of increased a little bit as more so leadership, more so talking than more than my play. I'm a combo guard, so I think Coach has fun with that, you know, switching me from point to two guard or point to wing. But we have some unbelievable freshmen coming in, and we have some great point guards, you know, with Ariel, and we just had a transfer, Finesse.
Finesse Dixon, right.
So them coming in as point guard, potential and point guards coming in, I think my role kind of stays the same, and I'm just looking forward to actually playing with some eager freshmen that are ready to play.
From the outside, the amazing run to the Sweet 16, you know, new players, different players in different roles. The outside perception would be it's going to be hard to equal what you guys did last year. Tell me why I'm wrong and everybody else might be wrong about that.
Well, I think everybody's wrong because we've shown it throughout the years. Each year has gotten better. Why stop now? That's what Coach says. Why stop now? The seniors last year, the 5 unbelievable seniors last year, laid down the blueprint of winning. When we're just taking that blueprint and continuing on the journey, they gave us their blessings, and we're great. And I think the upperclassmen this year are ready to step into that leadership role with talking and keeping the calm and letting these freshmen just go out and play and let them, you know, just be free, you know. And that's the biggest thing that I'm focusing on this year is, you know, taking that leadership and just telling them, you know, you can do this, you can do that, giving them that confidence that I have, and just letting them be free and letting them play. And I think it's great. And I just think that the seniors last year gave us that blueprint to keep it going.
She is one of the most exciting players in the country, and we get to see her play right in our own backyard. Good luck this season, Sierra.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Coming up, we take a look back at last season's magical run to the Sweet 16. The women's basketball highlight film rolls right after this.
This is UB Basketball Insider, presented by ECMC, the difference between healthcare and true care.
It was a magical season for the UB women's basketball team. They never lost here at Alumni Arena. They tore through the Mid-American Conference and made an incredible trip to the NCAA's Sweet 16. Let's look back at an unforgettable journey.
It's about us. It's just our sisterhood, our foxhole, and we don't compare ourselves to anybody else. And we're going to fight real hard to make Buffalo proud, make our university proud, make our families proud. Most importantly, to leave it out there, and then when we look in the mirror, we can make ourselves proud.
We never stop fighting. We never stop trying. We're just a great group of ladies who just always have that never die attitude, and we always, buy into what Coach says, and we believe in our system, and we believe in our foxhole, and I think that's what got us here to the Sweet 16.
Look at the defense by Cassie Ausler. Murray gets her shot blocked by Summer Henfield. Look at the pass, Henfield, put it in! Stephanie Reed, who chases down the miss. She looks to go coast to coast, up hit it and one. Ups goes back to Dillard. C pops it, takes the three and drills it. Reed to Ausler under the bucket and one. The women's, of course, have not yet been beat on this court.
If we keep playing how we are, I don't think anyone can stop us. I mean, everyone works and everyone has that faith in one another that, there's no way we can fail if that's how it is.
Bulls show out again and remain perfect at home, undefeated here in Alumni Arena. 16-2 in the Mid-American Conference play as they are now the #2 seed in the MAC tournament.
What's going to be remembered is the journey to this point, the sisterhood, the foxhole.
Honestly, I couldn't be any more grateful to call Buffalo my second home.
I'm not satisfied where we are. Our goal is to win a game in the NCAA and then go beyond that.
Welcome to Tallahassee, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend and throughout the tournament.
It's just really fun to be here, and we're not going to not have fun. We're going to be continuing to be excited in the progress of Buffalo to be a part of this one of 64.
It's our last year. It could be our last game. It's not going to be, but we're just out here to give our all and enjoy it and play this game and give it all we got.
It's going to be important to set the tone the first 5 minutes, and it's going to be interesting to see who does it first.
The Buffalo Bulls are ready to kick off first round March Madness action against the other Bulls, Paul, USF. It is the battle of the Bulls here in the first round for the NCAA tournament. Courtney Wilkins, who's heated up towards the end of Cleveland, looking to keep it. She drills the triple from deep. Stephanie looks to get it back to her. No, she's going to find Dillard in transition. Dillard from NBA range. Why not?
We got to keep attacking, and the box out is critical. We did a tremendous job on the box out, okay? We got to keep running. They are tired. We can come this far and come focus and they had a good half. It's our time. It's our time!
Gets Pereira, guarded by Dillard. Dillard picks the ball into the hands of Stephanie Reed. Reed out in transition, gets it to Catherine Up. Up drops a foul and one. Wilkins passes up the three-point shot, finds Ausler. Ausler, that's her range, and drills it. Reed races past two defenders, now finds Dillard in transition. She's going to quickly shoot it. Hits it. Sierra Dillard is putting on a show. 34 points. 102-79 is your final from Tallahassee. My goodness, this Buffalo Bulls team is here to stay.
We did something good 2 days ago. The magic hasn't happened yet. We will make mistakes. We'll get back on defense. There got to be a Cinderella team somewhere. Why not us? Why not now?
Humps receives the pass, now pulls up from mid-range and knocks it down. Right shot is off the mark, no good. Hemphill hits Reed, who streaks out in transition. Reed going to the basket, off glass, and in. 46-32, Buffalo lead. It's Ausler at the top of the key. Ausler, who can hit that shot, knocks down the deep jumper and in. Reed winds her way around the screen, now finds Dillard. Dillard fakes left, goes right, step back jumper, and just when you need Sierra Dillard to hit it, she's there for you.
Every single thing we've done since we've been here, we had to fight for it. And so we fight on.
Sweet 16, here we come as the Buffalo Bulls come into Florida and go 2-0 in the NCAA postseason tournament.
I'm so honored to coach these young ladies. You know, they took a broken coach and they took it to the Sweet 16.
We put Buffalo in people's mouths. It's great to see. It's great to witness, let alone be a part of.
We're going to keep proving every single day that we're a team that this country should believe in. We're a team that fight for everything that we've had, and we lock our 14 horns and we go in and we fight.
And I'm sure there are more memories to come this year. The men are back in action Tuesday. It's part of a cool doubleheader with the football team. The men play St. Francis at 4 o'clock here at Alumni Arena, and then football kicks it off with Kent State across the street at 7:30. Your next chance to see the UB women's team comes on the 14th when they host Niagara. But we'll see you next week on the UB Basketball Insider Show.